Who is representing the plaintiffs in this case, the voters who sued to remove Trump from the ballot in Colorado? Eric, it's great to have you here tonight. What is your response to the arguments that the Trump legal team is laying out in this appeal tonight? Thanks, Kaitlan. Our response is that this is more of the same. They basically claim that the Colorado Supreme Court got everything wrong, when in fact they issued a thorough, detailed opinion affirming the trial court's findings that Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection against the Constitution and holding that the Constitution applies to him just like it applies to all of us. So you don't think that any of the arguments that they're making here in your view are valid? Well, they're arguments we've all seen before and have been rejected by the courts. He claims here, I guess the one new thing is he claims for the first time that no court, not even the United States Supreme Court, can determine whether someone engaged in an insurrection, and that he's above any judicial determination of what he did leading up to and on January 6. That's just not the law, and we're confident the Supreme Court will reject that claim. Well, you know what? I'm interested in part of the argument here, and this is something that we have gone round and round about when talking about this issue with legal experts, constitutional law experts, and it's an argument that is the Trump legal team says here. Even if the Supreme Court in Colorado could consider challenges to Trump's eligibility, that they misapplied the law because the president is not an officer of the United States and never took an oath as one. And that the presidency is not an office under the U.S. Well, that argument has been raised several times. The overwhelming majority of scholars reject it, and properly so, because to give that argument effect would mean that Jefferson Davis, who led the Confederacy, led the Civil War against the United States, could have become its president shortly thereafter. There's no indication in the historical record that that's what anyone intended. It was a broad ban applying to all those who held office in office and were officers, and the president was in his post. So even as they're trying to point out that there are other parts in the Constitution where it does lay out officers of the United States and it lists the presidency separately, you don't think that it's separate even though it's referenced separately in other parts of the Constitution? No, we think that the Colorado Supreme Court thoroughly addressed this question and properly held that the Constitution applies to everyone.